Wow. Thank you so much, Mark and Howie, and so kind with your generous words. I sit here in awe and inspired. I can't thank David Williams and John Stetner and certainly all the people involved with Make-A-Wish. I mean, when I think about the amazing job that all of you have done, Bonnie Gwynn sitting here, chairman of the National, Keith Go as well, chairman of International, the amazing job you have done. You represent everything I believe in. Talk about passion, talk about dedication, talk about loyalty. I know how dedicated Howie Schwab, for example, we work together, my colleague, and it's like incredible what he does on a regular basis to bring a smile to a child's face. I told the reporter just yesterday who was interviewing me about my gala, I said, there's nothing that gives me more joy than the gift of giving. I'm in the last chapter of my life. I'm now 71, and I will tell you, I act about 12 at times when you see me on ESPN, talking about a game I love, talking about basketball. But there are more important things in life. I'm so honored today to meet Corbin, to meet a winner. You're not only a great performer, my friend, but you got a heart of gold. And for that, you are unique, and you are special, and you are rare. Because today, with the greed and the dollars and the monetary gains that so many people gain and the achievements they receive, many people forget where they came from. But I can tell in meeting you and hearing your words about Carson, you have never, ever forgotten where you came from. Don't ever, ever change. Don't ever. You are special, my friend. Let's give him another hand. Watching Ellen stand here with so much courage, watching Pete and your enthusiasm and your energy. I often talk about when I give motivational talks about having the 3 E's in life: energy, enthusiasm, and an excitement for life. My friend Pete, you possess that. You possess that, and you, my friend, are a winner in the game of life. Let's give Pete another big hand. I've been so blessed in my life. Can you believe this? I'm in 10 Hall of Fames. I can't run, I can't jump, I can't shoot. I've only had one thing, I had a body by Linguini, but I'm in 10 Hall of Fames because of enthusiasm and passion. I will never forget when I was honored at the National Basketball Hall of Fame. As I stood there and I was in awe, I looked at the landscape of the game of basketball as they were all in the audience. People I idolized for years. I looked and it was Bob Cousy, and it was Jerry West, and it was the Magic Man Johnson. And they're all there, and I'm thinking as I'm standing there about my mother and my father. I'm thinking about how in my life, I've been blessed to be with Hall of Famers all my life. My mom and dad were Hall of Famers. I would have given anything for my mother and father to be sitting in the front row and to see me receive that high honor. I think about my mom and dad often because they instilled in me the feeling of always extending a hand. Extend the hand with love in your heart. That was one of the models of my mom. My mom and dad were uneducated. They were in 5th grade, at best educated, but had a doctorate of love. And they taught me in our great country, if you have passion, if you have spirit, a lot of beautiful things are going to happen in your life. As I told that Hall of Fame group, my mother instilled in me a magical word: never, ever, ever believe in can't. I remember so vividly, one day I'm in my late 20s, and I wanted to coach in college. And all my buddies told me, Richie, you can't coach in college. You don't know anybody. You never played the game. And we had won back-to-back state championships in high school. And I wanted that thirst to compete against the best, to elevate myself in my career. And I came home and I was depressed. I'll never forget this moment as long as I live. My mother said, Richie, in her own Italian way, Richie, why do you look so down? I said, Mom, you're not going to believe this. All my buddies tell me, all those letters I'm writing to those college coaches and asking for a job as an assistant coach, that I'm wasting my time. And she gave me the greatest advice that I ever received in my life, ever. And all the classes I ever took, getting my master's and getting 30 beyond, the best education I got was at my dinner table and was on my couch. My mother put her arm around me and she said, I want you to listen to me, son. Listen to me. Don't ever believe in can't. And don't listen to your friends. Someday you're going to make it, son. Someday you're going to make it. Because you have spirit they can't hold back. Wow. How powerful. I've tried to pass that on, as Howie mentioned, to my two beautiful girls, who I'm so lucky that intellectually and physically they take after their mother and not their father. I want to introduce, as all the coaches tell me, they said, man, you have flat out overachieved. If Bo Derek's a 10, your wife's a 15 for living with you for 40 years. My wife, Lorraine. Stand up, Lorraine. I will close with this. Mark, you have it wrong, my friend. I can't tell you how many times in my life you've inspired me. How you've allowed me to get from that moment where I was down, reflecting and thinking about the battle you faced. When Mark came our way in 1992, my buddy, the late Jimmy Valvano, and I, we spent time with Mark at the Final Four. It's when Duke won the national championship in 92, and Mark was a teenager. And I did a little research because I wanted to find out about the youngster that wanted to be with me. And if he remembers vividly, I told the people at the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Long Island, I said, you got this wrong, man. You don't want me. I'm not a big enough celebrity. That kid could get anybody. He doesn't want me, a little basketball analyst. Well, no, he wants you. Well, we spent time together, and I was so inspired by the courage. 9 surgeries in his bladder area. Told at the time that he probably wasn't going to make it. That was in 1992. But you couldn't tell it to Mark. Oh, the doctors do a phenomenal job analyzing, and they know cancer. But many times they don't know the patient. They don't know what they're all about in the fight. He didn't feel sorry for himself. He gathered himself up, and he battled. And I was so proud when he graduated college. And then he went on, and we got him a job at ESPN. And he worked brilliantly in research, worked with Howie Schwab, and did a fantastic job. And then all of a sudden, he had to step aside. And I'm going to share something, Mark, here. I pray that you're not angry for me to share this. But Mark sent me a letter. He came to my gala. My gala is so special to me. Special more than anything I do. We bring in youngsters that are fighting for their lives and their moms and dads and their families, and how these people, I just got a text message from a father who lost their child. His name is Patrick Wright. His little girl, Peyton, was the most beautiful little blonde you could ever see. All of a sudden, right here in Orlando, right here at SeaWorld, Mommy, I got pain in my knee. My knee is killing me. Oh, we'll take care of it. We go home, and they did. And they went to the orthopedic surgeon, and he did his x-rays, and he said it's growing pains. And a week later, the tears continued. And they went back, and finally an MRI was done. And the doctor, as I will never forget Patrick and Holly telling me, it was the day in their life they will always remember, the saddest day, when the doctors walked in and said, please sit down. We have to share some news that's not very pleasant. We know why little Peyton is crying. She has a tumor in her spine, and it's going to metastasize. And I watched that little girl. I watched her because she was in my area, and I watched her gallantly fight, and she became paralyzed. She ultimately lost her vision. She was blind. And then she lost her life all in a matter of 6 months. My wife and I went to the funeral, and we cried and cried with my daughters for hours to see the pain that family went through. But that mom and dad, I can't tell you what they do to help others. Help others. And that's what my event is about. And Mark came to my event, and we raised the last 5 years a minimum for 1.2 million per year. Man, Corbin, I'd love you to come. Last year we honored Tony Dungy, Tom Izzo. We had Magic Johnson. We had Kenny Chesney. We had Tommy Lasorda. We had John Calipari. We had Roy Williams. And the list goes on. 60 celebrities, all coming free of charge. All coming, as I told the crowd that night, to the sellout crowd every year that we get, of one of these guys did something a little wrong. It's a headline. But I beg the writers to write about how they pay their own expenses, pay their own hotels, pay for everything, and they come because they want to help us raise $1 million for pediatric cancer. But then that night, Mark spoke. He spoke at my house. We had a little gathering at a party. And then he wrote me a letter. I'm going to share the letter, Mark. Please don't get angry. I'll close with this. In the letter, Mark wrote to my wife and I, and we had tears when we read it. He said, Dickie V, I can't thank you enough, man. All you've done, come to my wedding, and goes on, just what he repeated here. He said, well, you know what, Dickie V? I only wish that I didn't beat cancer, because cancer has beaten me, because it's taken from me, and people don't understand what many cancer survivors go through. The chemo, the radiation has caused me so many side effects and so many problems that I can't even now function and work at ESPN like I want to. And I was crushed by that. I think sometimes we forget what many of these people go through. My friend, you've inspired me, and you've inspired so many of my family. You're a winner, my friend, in the biggest game of all, the game of life. And to all the Make-A-Wish people, and to all you gathered here from all over the world, I simply say, keep granting those wishes. Keep doing what you're doing, because there's no greater gift in life than to bring a smile to a child's face. God bless you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart.